And we have this opportunity to celebrate this amazing mural called The Elders Spoke and We Bloomed by Danielle Scott. I'm really lucky to have this job. My name is Fayemi Shakur, by the way. I'm the Arts and Cultural Affairs Director for the City of Newark. But I feel so lucky because I get to do things that, elevate the beauty of our city and support artists and make art accessible to everyone. Art shouldn't be just enclosed in institutions. Our community should be able to walk by and catch some light, some fresh air, and beauty. And Danielle has really accomplished that, as well as celebrating Newark's history, our men who have contributed so much to our city over many, many years, our DPW workers, our men from the mayor's meeting, and it is my pleasure to introduce the person who none of this would be possible without. We're really fortunate to have such a strong arts mayor. I say it all the time. I will always say it. Please give a warm welcome to our honorable mayor, Raz J. Baraka.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, well, we haven't had a Sunday morning like this in a while, so we got to be thankful for it, especially with the polar vortex running around. We got to make sure we celebrate the sun is out. But I want to say thank you to the artists for sure. Danielle, I want to say thank you for this artwork, for your attention to this, your commitment, the beauty of this, to beautifying Central Avenue, but at the same time, lifting history up of this city of men who walked the street, some known, some unknown, who raised their hands and raised their families and did what they had to do to make a living and make their mark on this incredible city. When I drive by, I only get to see this part. I got to get a chance to look around how it wraps around the building. It is incredibly awesome. When we started doing these murals, we did the longest mural over there on McCarter Highway. Then we started doing other murals. People didn't understand why we were painting all over the city. And you know how we are in Newark. We had to go through a couple of months of why is the mayor paying attention to painting on walls and putting faces on walls? How is this important? And what does this have to do with anything? And we need crime to go down. We don't need painting, right? But the reality is art gives life, raises babies, raises children, raises families. Art brings economy and to the city. It gives people jobs and opportunity. It makes people come to your town. It livens it up. It changes the culture, changes people's hearts, their perspective, the way they think, the way they see the world. And ultimately, at the end of that, it is the reduction of violence, right? At the end of that is the love of people, the love of humanity, the seriousness of what we're doing, of our trek in this world, of what our relationship is to one another, what it should be. And ultimately, I think art opposes ugly. And all of the ugly things that happen around here and in our lives over and over again, we absolutely positively need to come outside and see some art. Right, and so I'm thankful more than you know, because sometimes I'm upset driving down this block early in the morning, my mind going through stuff, calls, making early in the morning, and I get to see this. It really warms my heart. I get to see my mother and father on the wall. It does so much for me to see them in different parts of their life, in fact, that I think I knew them in all those parts of their life, even the one when I barely knew myself. But, I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the guys that are in this picture, they get to come by here and see themselves as well. and it brings their heart to life, just like it brings mine to life. So I thank you for this. It is immeasurable what you've done for me and what you've done for the city. We appreciate you and your love of art and your love of this town. So thank you, and I want to thank Fayemi. Let's give Fayemi a round of applause, please, because she's on the job. Trust me, she's doing whatever she can to get as enough money as she can to make sure we continue painting and putting art. I shouldn't have started it. I started it. She's finishing it, and she's making it happen. So God bless you, and thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. I really want to acknowledge my partner in all of this work, Rebecca Jampole. She serves as our public art coordinator, but also co-director of Project for Empty Space, which commits so much of their time to social justice and visual art and supporting artists. They have artist studio space there and beautiful exhibitions. They're expanding their campus. And in the spring, North Grounds, they'll be launching and celebrating more public art in Mulberry Commons Park. So you should look out for that. Thank you, Rebecca, for all you do. I'd like to call our councilwoman to join us to share her remarks as well. Councilwoman of the Central Ward. We're so lucky to have her, Councilwoman Amina Bey.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful day. I mean, the ancestors are definitely there with us today. They have brought out the sun. We are so honored and so grateful for this opportunity to see this combination of artistry and activism put up here on Central Avenue in the Central Ward. Danielle, you are beyond an artist. I mean, what you have created here is so magnificent. And basically what we're seeing is the birth and rebirth of our city, of our people. And we get to live that miracle every day and see the legacy of all of these people here in the work that's being done by our mayor, Raj J. Baraka. And we are so incredibly honored to not only have known so many people that are up here, but to benefit from all of the work that they've done, the labor, what the love that they put into the city and what they poured into us personally and professionally. So I just want to say just thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, to be a part of this wonderful piece of history. And we are just going to continue to try to make them all proud. Thank you.
Yes, and now I get to officially introduce you to Danielle, about the artist. Danielle Scott is a mixed media assemblage artist who grew up in Jersey City, but she is an alumni of Arts High in our very own Newark, New Jersey. Her work expresses politically and socially charged messages. She was nominated for a 2025 NAACP Image Award for her outstanding short documentary, Ancestral Call, featured on PBS American Masters last year in 2025. Hi, Michelle. Shout out to Michelle Morgan. Truvillion. Danielle Scott was featured also in Essence magazine in 2021 as one of the top LGBTQ artists to watch. Her works have been acquired by the Newark Museum of Art, New York Times bestselling author Roxane Gay, the Weissman Family Collection, and Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter and author Nicole Hannah-Jones, creator of the 1619 Project. She has been exhibited at the Montclair Art Museum, the Monmouth Museum, the Morse Museum, Every Woman NYC Biennial, and the 2024 Havana Biennial in Cuba. We're so lucky to have this woman to help tell our stories. Please welcome Danielle Scott.
Yes, it has to be lower. Good morning, City of Newark. First, I want to thank the mayor. Thank you so much for everything that you do in this city. and for allowing artists to express ourselves the way that we do. Fayemi, Rebecca, I want to thank you for just pulling me in on this project and keeping me calm while working on it. The one thing I can say and give to the city of Newark, you have poured into me since I was 13 years old. I went to Arts High School. I am a Jersey City girl, and I decided to leave a high school system in Jersey City to come to arts. And I was welcomed by Alita Caldwell, Nettie Thomas. And when I met Miss Thomas and Miss Caldwell turned around and looked at my mother and said, "Leave Danny here. She's fine. We have her. We're guarding her." And from that, Miss Caldwell introduced me to Bisa Washington, Gladys Barker Grower, Ben Jones, Willie Cole, and the names go on. And Miss Gladys Barker Grower, Miss Grower was my mentor for 36 years. Bisa Washington is still my mentor. Ben Jones is still my mentor. Willie Cole, and Nettie Thomas, who reviewed my portfolio. And all of them actually my children have grown up with all of them. So Newark has poured into me. Newark has given me the encouragement to continue to grow as an artist in so many ways. Right now, this is the largest mural of mine in Newark. There's also another mural on the Rutgers Business Building. That was the first one. And that was honoring the trailblazers of women of Newark who started one of the first galleries here as well. This mural in particular, I wanted to honor men and men of color. And it's so important with the things that are going on in this world right now and them being targeted. And me having two sons sitting right in front of me, my 24-year-old and my 9-year-old. So when I thought of the DPW and the men's meeting, thinking of people who are fathers, uncles, grandpas, and they have these lives that no one knows, and they don't know their stories. And then you have all of the people on this wall that people don't actually know who they are. And now children get to walk the street and say, "Hey, who is this? Who is this? Who is this?" So then they can learn the history of this city and the men in this city. When we went to photograph at the men's meeting, there's an elder there, and I will never forget him and his story. He's in here as a 7-year-old in 1967, watching the riots and watching the tanks come through. And for me, just hearing that history of the city. I love elders, I love their stories, and they have fueled me and my work for so many years. Ancestors talk. They're here today. They're telling us thank you for doing this, and making sure it's a part of this city. I also got to work with, Junius, and it was one of the best, honestly, it was one of the best days of my life. It was the last day of school, and then I went back into a classroom. That classroom was in Dr. Ellis and Junius in their home, and I sat there and I listened. We laughed, and I looked through his website, and his stories of all of the men up here just made this possible. Everything came together with the archival, with the DPW, with the mayor's meeting, the archival from a Weequahic High School photographer, from the 1960s. And then the flowers, I want to thank the crew who helped out with the flowers. The flowers were a lot to work on. The colors, the painting them by hand, they're hand painted. So the crew who helped, oh my God, thank you guys. Thank you so much for it. And then the flowers come from my home, so Afro-Cubano. So these flowers represent who I am as someone who loves Newark and as someone who's Cuban. And I want to thank everyone who was a part of this, everyone. And this, what I'm going to say is for you, it's for the ancestors. Thank you guys for, fueling me, calling me, and making sure I step in my purpose every single day by listening to you.
And we would be remiss if we thanked Chris Davis, also known as Dolo Photo. He is the one who documented the men from DPW and the mayor's meeting and is a profound, amazing, talented, oh, thank you, talented photojournalist here in the city of Newark. Thank you, Chris, for all you do. Come say a few words, Chris. I want to hear about your experience.
Well, definitely, thank you for everybody just being here and just celebrating, Danielle's work here to just honor the men of Newark. It was just an amazing experience, especially, documenting the men of DPW and just hearing their stories and just seeing the way that they wanted to be highlighted, and showcased and honored in that way. And I think it's just awesome, right? Because, we can look at the archival photos and see some familiar faces, but just to honor the men here in this community and just to showcase them here on this wall, I feel like, it's also another great honor. But this was just an amazing experience, like just hearing the stories during the men's meeting. And yeah, I'm just, grateful and thankful just to be a part of this project. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Junius Williams, could you please join us? This is our official city historian who makes sure we're always moving in the right direction and preserving our heritage. Please give us some words.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I have that title because of the man sitting right here, our mayor. And I hope that I'm doing justice to the term, historian. I see a lot of people in here. One of them I almost didn't recognize because she had that big hoodie on. And I was trying to tell her to be careful when you walk around the streets. But she can whip it off in a minute and get them straight. Anyway, how did I get how did I get involved? Well, she was right. Danielle came to my house, and it's a house where artists reside. My wife, Antoinette Ellis Williams, who was up till 5 o'clock this morning creating once again. My son, Che Williams, who is sitting right next to her and is doing great films. Right now, I don't know how he did it, but he talked his way into Chinatown in New York and got the owner of some famous restaurant to say, yeah, come on in and do a story on this restaurant in this place called Chinatown. Che Williams, y'all, watch out for him. Watch out. So I got to thank the visionaries too, starting with the mayor. Art, and he got it honestly because he comes from an artistic family, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. But then you've got all the people who surround him to make this thing possible. Public art, Fayemi and Rebecca, and the young man who I just met, all of these people, yeah, they deserve another round of applause. Because this just doesn't happen overnight, So she came in with this idea. She came in with her vision. And we sat on the floor in my living room and we laughed and talked. And she said, well, who are the black men that we ought to be talking about? And I told her. And I see everybody that I told her about is up here on this wall. And that's the advantage of being the last man standing. All of these people, 99% of the people up here are dead. They're gone. I could say anything I want to say about them. That's the advantage of being the history, because they don't know, they can't be here. But anyway, and not only do I know the men who are up here, I know the context in which this occurred. And most of the time, it was because we were it was against something, and we were fighting for something better in the city of Newark. In fact, all of the times that I see the folks up here, Mr. Baraka, Emir Baraka. I call him Baraka the Elder. Here with his wife and son. I don't know which son this was. Was it Obalachi? Huh? One or the other? I think this was Obalachi. This was during the time of the rebellion. Then I look down here and see my former roommate, Phil Hutchins, who is now in a nursing home, unfortunately, in Oakland. He was the chair. Y'all know Stokely Carmichael. You know Rap Brown. Well, this was the man who came behind them, Phil Hutchins, who was the chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. We worked together to form an organization called NAPA, the Newark Area Planning Association. His choice of name, and then they called him to be chair, to fight the medical school over there, which would have taken up enough land to be right here. We would have been on the borderline of the medical school had we not organized and fought down the amount of acreage that they took eventually. And we got back, they got 60 acres of land, we got 60 acres of vacant urban renewal land to build houses. And as a result, we built almost 1,000 units of low and moderate income housing. So all of this, you see all of this up here on this wall. Some kind of way, Danielle, we got to figure out to give them a map or something. Folks can come out, you go through the park and you get your little thing and you put on. We got to talk about that so folks will know and understand that. And you've got a younger Baraka and Amina Baraka right there next to him. Around the corner, you got me in another position that I don't even want to think about that one, but it was a good picture, but it was a bad event. So I'm happy to be here as one of the last men standing, and happy to have been asked by my good friend Danielle to participate in this. Yes, we laughed, we talked, we had a good time. And when I whirled around the corner here one day, I'd been at church over there at Bethany, and I whirled around the corner, and I'm not sure which one of these pictures caught my attention first. I think it was down there. That was my official photo for when I was running for mayor in 1982. Obviously, I did not make it, but I did live long enough to tell the story. And with that, you were in high school at that time. Yes, most of you probably were in high school or not yet born. Some of you weren't even thought about. So anyway, I'm glad. I'm going to sit down. Danielle, our next project is to come up with some way so that folks can continue your dream of knowing who these people were. And just one other point out, right here, this was the Black Power Conference in Newark, New Jersey, 24 Rector Street. Going to see some changes coming along with that, but we're going to make sure that story gets told. Thank you very much, Danielle. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. I'd like to invite Jessica Cavaco from DPW to join us. All spread throughout this mural are images of men from DPW here, all around the wall. And I'd like Jessica to share a few words about the men she works with every day.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say how meaningful it is to be here today. On behalf of the Department of Public Works, we want to thank Project for Empty Space, to the artist Danielle Scott, Director Fayemi Shakur, Mayor Baraka, and to everyone who helped bring this mural to life. This work honors leadership, care, and service, both the visible and often the unseen. This resonates deeply with the men and women of DPW, whose work is early mornings, late nights, especially with the week that we just had, a very long and tiresome one. Our crews show up every day for the city, not for recognition, but because Newark is home. Seeing DPW members represented here alongside elders, historians, community leaders is incredibly powerful. It reminds us that public service is part of a much longer story, a rooted one in care, resilience, and pride in the city. Thank you for recognizing that work, for preserving these stories, and for creating something that will continue to inspire the community for generations to come. We're truly honored to be a part of this celebration. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for that. And lastly, but not least, we want to send our sincere thanks to Catholic Charities for donating this wall. Joining us to share her remarks is Elizabeth McClendon.
Good morning, everyone. I am the Associate Director of Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Newark. I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, the City Council, the City of Newark Division of Arts and Cultural Affairs, Rebecca, and the Project for Empty Space team, the Newark Department of Public Work, and everyone who helped with this mural to make it possible, especially during these cold days. A special thanks to Danielle Scott for creating a piece of art that honors the strength and history of this community. The mural, "The Elders Spoke and We Bloomed," is a meaningful addition to this neighborhood. It reflects resilience, leadership, and the generations who helped shape Newark into what it is today. Right here at this location, Catholic Charities operate our workforce development program. Every day, individuals come through these doors looking for a second chance, a new skill, or an opportunity to support themselves and their families. We provide job readiness, training, vocational support, employment, placement, and service for individuals facing significant barriers, including those living with disabilities. The food that we're offering you today was made in-house by our professional chef, and I hope you will enjoy it. Our goal here is simple: help people move towards stability and independence. The message of this mural connects directly to that work. Growth is possible when you're surrounded by a community that supports and shares wisdom. For everyone who walks through this building, client, staff, neighbor, we hope serve as a reminder that progress is possible and that the opportunity exists here in the city of Newark. Thank you for being a part of this effort, and congratulations to everyone that made this project possible. Thank you.
Can we give a huge round of applause for the artist and give her her flowers? Thank you. I just want to close the program with a few acknowledgements. Once again, we want to thank our mayor, Mayor Rajay Baraka, and Director Fayemi Shakur from the Division of Arts and Cultural Affairs for prioritizing arts and culture in the city of Newark. So could we give it up to them? This work wouldn't be possible without them. I'd also like to acknowledge the Department of Public Works and the Mayor's Men's Meetings for inviting us into their homes, their spaces, and being collaborators on this project. I'd like to acknowledge Catholic Charities. Many of you don't know this, but this piece was actually supposed to be somewhere else in the city of Newark, and we found out after it was designed that the wall was not structurally fit for us to actually execute the mural. I gave John and Maria, if we could all give it up for Maria in the back here, a call, and they welcomed us. They gave us a path forward the very next day, and that's actually what you guys do here in the city of Newark. You give paths forward, and we deeply appreciate your collaboration on this mural and many others. This artwork was extremely complex. Danielle is a collage artist. Well, she's multidisciplinary, but she works in the form of collage, and you see that here. This work was collaged in person and then translated into a larger-than-life mural. So what you see behind us is both digital, high-resolution digital prints, which she worked with a local artist who is a technical expert, Irene Lernadaki. And then she also worked with the paint and design team, Michelle and Camille, as well as Mark Hartman, who is very talented. He paints, he DJs, he's out here in every single way, and Diego Molina to actually execute this work. And then all of our thought partners on this, Junius Williams, I see Rosa is with us here today, Adrienne Wheeler, Christopher Davis. All of this work is not made in one space by one person. It takes a village to create public art, and we are so grateful for everybody's collaboration. And then for the community here who welcomed us every day. I have to tell you, we talk about this often. We have gotten the most positive response about this mural that we have ever encountered. The folks that come out and they take pictures with their portraits, folks that live around the corner that showed up today to be a part of this celebration. We are so grateful to be able to make this work, but also to celebrate it with the communities that we are here with. So thank you guys. Please stick around. We're going to play some music. We have food inside that was prepared by the local chef, the house chef here. And we also want to thank our program collaborators here, and we'd love to take a picture with everybody. So please join us here to take a photo and with Rachel Font Albin, who is also somebody that was a big part of this. So thank you. All right, thank you, everybody. Please join us for a photo.
Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, digging the scene with a gangster lean move. Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, digging the scene with a gangster lean move.
These particular flowers that are on this mural are actually from my homeland, which is Cuba. So while I was in Cuba, I ended up going to a flower man, and I asked him if I can purchase the flowers, and he kept saying, like, they're really expensive, and I said I would like to have all of them. So I did purchase all of them, and he was like, you just helped me pay for, my food, my toilet tissue, and things that I need for my family. But I was buying those for my the family I was staying with, the abuela and the titi. So I was buying those flowers for her, and I just kept getting. So that's what these flowers are. So they are photographs that I was taking in Cuba while I was there during the Havana Biennale.
And Cuba, there's a Cuban feel.
Oh yeah,
When I went to Cuba, this resembles
so
that work.
Cuba, and just having a part of Cuba here in Newark, which is an art hub for me, and Cuba being my home and my art hub as well, just mixing them together, it just makes it come out beautiful. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Andres Brady. We are here at the unveiling of this fabulous mural by Danielle Scott, The Elders Spoke and We Bloomed. I first saw this mural maybe a few months ago getting installed as I was driving downtown, and I was just like, whoa, this is so dope. Like, I was seeing all of the pictures go up, all of the images, and I feel like this is important, like, for public art to be expanded in the city and different communities that could definitely benefit from it. Like they said, this was probably the most responded to mural in the community, and that's because it's smack dab in the community of people, and I feel like that is such a beautiful thing. But this is just an amazing piece. I love the mixed media component, the prints, the hand-painted elements, the photographs. I think this is really cool to see, and just a new style of murals that a lot of people could appreciate.
To have this phenomenal mural on Central Avenue in the Central Ward is so meaningful. If you go down the mural, you'll see so many of the different images and the things that were happening in the Central Ward. Whether it's on Springfield Avenue here, or further down during the Black Power Conference at the Cathedral on Rector Street. So there was so much history in the Central Ward. This is where the city of Newark was reborn.
So many faces that I see on the mural. I remember I remember them at council meetings. I remember them in our communities. I remember them just speaking into us. And they spoke into us so much that we are where we are today. And God bless them all the ancestors, and all those that are just making sure that our future is brighter and brighter every day.